Okay, so what I want to do is have a conversation about two things at the same time. One of the features that I want to introduce to you is a panel that I consider an extremely important panel within the software. It's the second most important panel in Illustrator next to the Layers panel. This panel is called the Appearance panel. The Appearance panel appears like a button, or I also describe it as a sun. So this is your Appearance panel. If you click on this, you'll notice it populates that panel, once again, called the Appearance panel. So I'm going to tear this panel away, and I'm going to set this to the left of my artboard or document. So normally this is, if I'm like really concerned about how I'm constructing content in Illustrator, this is normally how I set up my workspace. I have my document in the center, I have my Layers panel on the left, really open, and then I have my the Layers panel on the right. The Appearance panel on the left, and I'm using this to get a sense of how my graphics are being constructed. So what the Appearance panel has, that the Layer panel does not, is the outline of what is happening with your graphic. And what I mean by that is that the Appearance panel tells me how this has been constructed. So for example, it tells me it has a red fill. It tells me it has a 4-point stroke. If I click on the stroke, it also tells me that I'm using a profile. So this panel basically compiles all of the visual information that defines the graphic. You'll notice that the Layer panel does not do this. The Layer panel does not describe this. Okay? So I'm going to pause the projector here for a second, and I'm going to construct a graphic. And I'm going to ask you, how did I make it? Okay, how did I make this graphic? What do you guys think? Does the Layer panel give you any clues? No, that's the point. In a production environment, you might be given a graphic like this, and your goal or the task that you may be given is, hey, so-and-so just worked on this. Your job is to change the color or change the thickness of the line. Well, how is it constructed? Well, you'll notice that when I hover over it, what was the foundation shape? A star. Does it look like a star? No. Doesn't look anything like a star. So this is another point that I want to make, that some of the content that we're going to start looking at in the software is a form of a hybrid. Just like the Live Paint is hybrid information, this graphic is also hybrid. It is not truly a vector anymore. The vector is this star that is described as an edge or a path when I hover over the graphic. But clearly it doesn't look like a star anymore. So if I hit Command Y, I can see the original shape. When I hit Command and go to Preview, I don't see it like that anymore. So how is this made? If you were a seasoned designer, you would know that I would go to the Appearance panel, and the Appearance panel will give me all of the features that are describing that graphic. And you'll notice that I actually activated a number of effects to help me construct this. So the effects that I applied were in this order. So you'll notice that I have an effect called Pucker and Bloat, another one called Twist, and another one called 3D Extrude and Bevel. As I turn these off, you're going to notice that I get my star back. So the Appearance panel not only acts as a list, but it also acts as a tool where I can build or reconstruct the content that I'm looking at or working with. Does that make sense? All of these effects that I've also applied, if I click on any of the features, for example, 3D Extrude and Bevel, it'll take me to the panel or the effect that's controlling it. You'll notice that there's a preview button on this effect. Once I preview it, I can make modifications to it. I could change its position, I could change, wait for it to update, I could change its angles, I can change how thick the extrude is. So the Appearance panel takes me to the options that control the way that the graphic looks. So if you ever open up an object and it doesn't match the vector line work, you should open up the appearance panel, select it to see how it's been constructed. Does that make sense? So as we start working with more advanced features, this appearance panel is going to help us work and resolve some of the effects and functions within the software.